So I had this video written up where I was going to explain why I think it won't be long before skin prices start going up again. If you don't know, obviously you do, but let's pretend you don't. Basically, Valve added a small update that wiped $3 billion off the CS2 market cap. Since then, the market has recovered a bit, but now it's beginning to stagnate. And in the meantime, the trading scene is demoralized, many people have taken huge losses, people are constantly freaking out about the next thing Valve is going to do, and pretty much everything is taken as a sign of the biblical apocalypse. And because of this, I wanted to explain why I thought the downtimes were going to end pretty quickly, and probably in a pretty retarded way. Except, as it turns out, I'm late, because the skins market is already being retarded again. So what is this ridiculous new that's going on now? Well, let's get into things. So when I first wrote this video, I had this whole argument for why skins are going to be fine based on what I was going to call the 4 fundamental pillars of the skin economy. Some knives may never recover, but overall, the market was going to be fine. Now, the first pillar is the player base. November is generally a pretty quiet time for Counter-Strike. The player base is often around its lowest point all year, but currently this is the biggest November in the history of the game, and by a reasonable margin. Now yes, some of those players are bots, but there were bots last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. The number may be inflated, but the trend is very real. The player base seems to be growing, and naturally, more players means more people around to spend money on skins. Now, the second pillar was going to be that skins just have a habit of going extinct. Basically, lots of players will just straight up abandon their accounts with good stuff on it when they quit and never come back. They can't be bothered to sell their skins because it's too complicated, and because of this, their inventories are literally just left to rot. This means that older skins gradually go out of circulation, and long term their price will generally go up, provided Counter-Strike doesn't die or anything. Now, pillar number 3 was going to be something a little bit more global. Basically, at the moment, the world has a problem with too much money, quite literally. Why are share prices and house prices stupidly high despite the economy being kind of shit in a lot of places? Well, the answer is too much money, and I mean that rather literally. And when people have too much money and everything is already super expensive and they need somewhere to invest, well, video game pixels look pretty good, don't they? And then there's pillar number 4. And pillar number 4 is why I had to delete the script. Okay, so for quite a while now, there has been a phenomenon where people, or more accurately a very specific group of people, have been buying the shit out of random items in a way that really makes no sense whatsoever. It's actually kind of like skins are becoming tokenized. It's not just about having an AK hydroponic in the game anymore, it's about how many of its PNGs you can fit into your inventory just to prove a point. Rather than being a virtual cosmetic, it's a commodity now. Now, this itself isn't news. This was something that was very well documented prior to the trade-ups update. Certain skins were achieving absurd valuations for no tangible reason. But what was consistent about this was the country this was all coming from, and that country was China. Now, when the trade-ups update finally hit, this proved to be a double-edged sword. Chinese marketplaces saw the worst meltdowns in all of the skin economy, and for quite a while, skins were much more expensive on Western marketplaces than Chinese ones. In fact, it was so bad that some people started speculating that China might even be out of Counter-Strike skins for good. But as it turns out, that's not the case, because in just 1 month since the update, the pumps have started again. And not only have they started again, they're already setting new price records. I mean, first up, we've got the driver gloves Crimson Weave. Now, before the trade-ups update, these were about $1,750. They then crashed down to $350, so roughly an 80% drop. Now, they are about $2,400. So these skins have gone from being insanely expensive to the worst crash in skins history to being insanely expensive again. Now, if you move over to the driver gloves Lunar Weave, we can see exactly the same sort of thing. They were already insanely expensive before the update. This is $1,000 for an absolutely mediocre set of gloves. They crashed about 80% as well, down to $225. Now they're $1,300. So again, it's a brand new record price, only a month after the worst crash in Counter-Strike history, which hit these skins harder than pretty much anything else on the market. Now, you will notice there are fuck all sets of these things listed on the market, only 18. This is because someone has come along and bought all the sets listed on the market, that's why it's so high. Someone is just literally buying up all of them. That's what's happened here. And if we go and search some of the other gloves from the same case, we'll use this one as an example, you can see they're basically starting to do the same thing. They're not at new all-time records, but there's been a massive recovery and they're rapidly closing in on their pre-crash prices. Now, the gloves that are being pumped here are all from the glove case, and the glove case is a very popular case for this kind of stuff because the skins in them are relatively rare and therefore it is easy to control the market. However, at a certain point, we are going to run out of glove case gloves to pump, and when that happens, it is going to be game on when it comes to pumping other things. And at that point, we are basically back to where we were before the update, with crazy price inflation for skins for pretty much no reason. And I don't think it's far away at this point. However, this does create a bit of a dilemma for Valve. After all, it's been speculated that these crazy prices were the reason for them adding knife trade-ups in the first place. How do you make sure that knife skins are available for ordinary players when this shit is happening? I mean, you can't stop people from buying. That will destroy the entire system. The system that makes you $1 billion a year, so you don't want to destroy it. So, what's the solution? Well, in my opinion, the best antidote is stuff like the Fever case. It is available in unlimited quantities, has very nice skins, and is open shitloads, so it can't be manipulated like the other cases, and that means there will always be nice skins at semi-reasonable prices. Adding more cases like this should allow us to have the best of both worlds, and make Valve a lot of money. And assuming the EU doesn't ban cases, which they might, this is 100% the solution I would recommend. It won't stop China from going bananas on the rest of the market, but at least there will be some alternatives. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe, massively appreciated. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus, thanks for watching, see ya.